your favorite child care provider, Linda Akins. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to briefly talk about how to teach your kids financial literacy. A lot of times, especially having been a teacher, I realized that we don't really train our kids on these things, these real world things that they're going to get into, such as paying for bills, filling out taxes, all those financial things that they actually are going to have to do when they become adults. I didn't learn about any of these things until I became an adult, and I had to ask for help because they didn't teach me these things in school, which I feel like they really should. This is something I feel like a lot of schools should encourage their students and their teachers to do. But they don't, so hopefully one day they do. But for now, I'm just going to share a few tips on how you can encourage your children to start working towards financial education and financial literacy, so they can be prepared for the real world. First thing is first, don't stress. Don't stress yourself about it, and don't stress it too much on your children, because they still are children. Even if they're teenagers, you don't want to overwhelm your children with, the whole financial burden. One of the things that I do with my younger children is that I encourage piggy banks. Piggy banks, I feel like, are the very first step that teach kids about saving their money, so that in the long run they can use that money to buy something. And that's the same thing that they'll learn in real life. You put your money into a savings account, you put some money on the side, so that in the long haul you can buy something that you need, you can invest into something. So piggy banks, I very much encourage to start with your younger children and even older kids too. Piggy banks are not just for younger kids. I have a piggy bank at home right now. It doesn't look like a bank. It's actually a tin can, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a beautiful piggy bank, as long as it's just something to encourage saving money into. That loose change, if they have pennies that they find around the house, have your kids put it in that piggy bank, because it's encouraging them to save. If you want to do a little extra when it comes to the piggy bank, what you can do is encourage a chart, having a goal chart for your child that you guys can put in a room or put above the piggy bank, and it'll target or it'll state a certain goal that you and your child is trying to reach, or that your child is trying to reach. Maybe they're trying to buy a new bike, or maybe they're trying to buy a new game system or whatever. So you will have that chart there that shows their goal, and they will also have the chart that shows how much money that they have or how much they need to be able to reach that goal. Pinterest is a good site that has examples of these charts for kids. As you can see, I'm on the Pinterest website, and here's an example of a chart you can present for your child, whatever age they are. And I'm going to scroll down and check out some more charts, and they have a lot of good ones. Let's click on this. This one looks really nice as well. It has the week, it has the deposit, it has the balance, and I think this one is a really nice one. So check out Pinterest. And by using these charts, it helps your children to learn how to document their finances, and they're also able to actively see their goals and see how they're making their way to reaching their goals. So I highly recommend these charts. I actually have a few myself. Another thing you can add to that is also incentives. Let's say your child saves up $10. You can say, for every $10 that you save, I'm going to match $1 to it or $2 to it. And this is a way for your child it's a way to encourage them to save, because even in the workforce, there are some employers that match whatever money you put in towards your 401k. So this is also teaching your children about that system as well. Another way to encourage kids about financial literacy is a very old school way, which is chores, doing chores. Kids nowadays are so lucky that parents are very lenient with paying them for doing household things that they should already be doing. I know growing up, I had to do stuff, and there was no incentive for it, and there was no money system being offered to me. I just did it because if I didn't do it, I was going to get in trouble. But luckily now, kids can actually do chores, and a lot of parents have created a system where the kids do a chore or provide a service, and the parents pay them for it or give them an incentive. And this alone teaches kids about work in general, because as adults we go to work, we go to an office, we provide a service and receive money in return. And I think this in itself is a system that I didn't realize until now that I'm an adult, of how important this chore system is. So having your kids doing chores and actually having a chart that shows, okay, if you do this chore, this is how much you may make, or these are the incentives that will be offered for you, like this chart here. But I wouldn't encourage the negative point system. I would prefer to do the positive point system and encourage them with that. And you could do a weekly clock in, clock out. Have them actually experience how it is to kind of go to work. It doesn't have to be as aggressive or tedious as it is for you going to work, because I know it's not fun. At least for a lot of us. But you can create a chart that just shows, this is how much you get per week, this is how much you get for this task, this is how much you get for this chore. And there's also actually a website for your older kids. There's an actual website that you can get them a bank account, a debit account. Greenlightcard.com is a debit system where it's a debit card that you give to your teenagers, and it allows them to spend, save, give, and earn money, and it's all controlled by you. And no, this is not being sponsored, and no, I'm not getting paid for any of the references that I'm giving. However, I just feel like these are good resources for you guys to have. I've looked through it and I feel like it's a really good system for parents and teenagers to be able to have, because then it controls their spending and also teaches them how to use a debit card. And this feature is actually really good, because then the kids can see their account information online like we do. It's also really great for younger kids as well, because you control everything. And it even has a chore system there that shows the certain days that they have to do chores. And I think this is a really great service. Once again, I'm not being paid for this. I just find this a very good service for kids. So this is a good route to go if you want to teach them about banking, and as well as teach them about saving electronically. And right now I'm on greenlightcard.com, and I'm going to click on the 3 bars on the right, and you can see what they have there. I'm going to scroll down so you guys can kind of see what's on the website. So yeah, you see they have a parent's wallet, the dashboard. They also let you do put a chores list on there. Allowance on autopilot, so that means you can set an allowance to recur. And as you can see the current balance, add money, there's instant transfers. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good website. Another way to encourage kids about financial literacy is actually just playing games, math games, number games. That alone expands their mindset when it comes to money and numbers. And honestly, and I'm sure you parents can vouch, there are a lot of things that I've learned in school when it comes to math that I do not use these days. I never used a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I've never had to use it, never had to use the Pythagorean theorem. All of those things I haven't had to use. But mind games and that deal with math, such as adding, there's just so many apps now that have different math games for kids. So many online arcade places that have kid games. So anything math related, dealing with numbers, you can do flashcards, of course, blocks for your younger kids. Just building their math skills up will encourage them when it comes to handling finances. Monopoly is a great game. Monopoly really does it's a little bit advanced for the younger kids, but it really does talk about, you know, buying and selling, and it deals with property, and it's a fun game. I've learned a few things from Monopoly. I've lost and I've also won. So Monopoly is definitely one that I encourage. Giving is very important when teaching kids about finances. I know you're probably like, what does giving have to do with anything? Whatever you believe, whatever your morals are, whatever your religion, I believe that giving teaches kids that it's okay to give out money, because once you give and you spend and you're selfless with your money, you reciprocate more. It's just the law of attraction. If you're teaching your kids to be stingy, or that they should hog all the money together, and you're teaching them now how to not share, then in reality, you're just teaching them that they don't need to be able to give out these resources. And giving out money, that's what makes the economy. If we all just keep our money together here and there, we wouldn't have this economy, because everybody would just be holding their money in their bank account and holding it tightly. But when you allow your children to give, and you're teaching them that giving is good for the economy, and that giving helps other people, it helps them to learn that this is an important thing as a human being, and it's also important for my bank account and my service as a citizen. So giving is absolutely very important. You can start with giving maybe a little change to a neighbor, or if they have siblings, maybe encouraging them to give to their siblings. Maybe encouraging them to buy something for someone they care about. These are really good tactics on how to encourage giving with little kids. And even if it's not necessarily money, giving in general, like maybe giving a gift to somebody. It teaches them how to be able to give to others and to be able to reciprocate what they give out as well. Another thing too is to set an example. Show them how you do things. Show them how you juggle the bills. You can even show them the electric bill, the light bill. Don't just wave it to them in their face and say that they're the reason why the bill is so high. Show them how you're paying it. Show them how you're putting money to the side. Actually show them the process that it takes to make these payments and to set money aside for these payments, because they lead by your example. So next time you're at the store and they're whining about something, it's important to set an example and letting them know, like, we don't need this, because letting them know at an early age about being content with things that they have also teaches them about financial literacy, because then they won't have impulse buy. And you as an adult too have to control your impulse buy. You, like I said, you have to set an example. If you go to a store with your child and you see a huge big screen TV or a beautiful bag and you just buy it automatically, little do you know your child is seeing this. But if you actually go, or and you plan out what you're trying to buy, and you stick to your list of what you came here to buy, or you told your child this is what we're going here for, and you stick to it, your child is seeing that example, and they're seeing that, okay, this is how mommy does it, this is how daddy does it. They're not just buying whatever they want to buy, they're actually spending their money wisely. That doesn't mean you should be money tight and just make your kids feel like, oh, we don't have any money, you can't buy anything. It's just about being able to channel what is needed and what are wants. But don't teach them that their wants should overpower the needs. Like, it shouldn't be a situation where they want chips, but they have to pay for, let's say, a new toothbrush, and they buy the chips and they don't have a toothbrush. So setting an example for them is very important, because they look at you, they look at us as adults, and we are their example. So that's all, folks. Thank you for watching my video. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Also, comment. I do like reading your comments. And by the way, I am doing a contest. If some of you don't know me on Instagram, I am Linda.d.Atkins. I am on Instagram and I am doing a contest. After I finish talking, I will give the information about this contest, and you have the opportunity to win natural products, customized waist beads, and a nice mystery prize.